right, President Biden remains hunkered down at Camp David as he prepares for the CNN presidential debate against former President Trump. And the Biden campaign is already hyping up his expectations.
President Biden is taking this debate prep incredibly seriously. You will see a very energized President Biden, I can assure you of that, because he understands what is at stake for the American people. He understands that he is the only person standing in the way of Donald Trump getting back into the White House and being a dictator on day one, like he said he's going to do. I'll tell you, you're going to see a very energized President Biden who is looking forward to having these direct conversations with Donald Trump on Thursday night in Atlanta.
All right, Mike Huckabee is a former presidential candidate, Trump campaign surrogate, and he joins us now. Governor, let's play a little Mad Libs, shall we?
Okay.
Joe Biden will have a successful debate if Donald Trump will have a successful debate if. Fill in the blanks, Governor.
Well, Joe Biden will have a successful debate if he can just stay awake for the entire period of time. Donald Trump will have a successful debate if he just shows up and focuses on the difference between 4 years under Donald Trump and the 4 years under Joe Biden. The contrast couldn't be more stark. We just saw it in the report you did on the restaurants. People are shutting down their businesses. Inflation is just destroying consumers across this country. It's not affecting the very uber wealthy, and that's why you don't hear it out of the swamp. People who live in that world, whether it's Hollywood, Silicon Valley, the New York financial community, or the Washington lobbying community, they're doing fine. They're not really feeling this, but working class Americans are. And all Donald Trump has to do is remind them the border is broken, the economy is broken, the world is broken, and crime is rampant across the country because Joe thinks that letting 12 million illegals in and not prosecuting crime is A-OK with him. And so this is going to be, I think, a debate for the ages. And I think fascinating thing, when Adrienne Elrod says Joe Biden's going to be energized, I'm thinking, what chemicals will he be given in order for that to happen? But here's the difference, guys. When he shows up, if he does like he did at the State of the Union, where he has all that energy, but he screams the entire time, it will be devastating to him. Because screaming in a big room where you have a crowd cheering is one thing. Screaming in a quiet studio where nobody is there but Donald Trump will make him look like a madman. And it will absolutely, if he does get whatever it is they gave him, it will make him look absolutely ridiculous.
Well, Governor, this is something new. Apparently, President Biden has a strategy, and it's that he's going to mock Donald Trump to try and make him mad. According to NBC News, if Trump is more sedate than incensed, the goal for Biden will be to elicit what his aides see as the, quote, true Trump. According to three people familiar with the president's debate prep, Biden's advisors have been meticulously studying and combing through all of Trump's recent comments, these people said, in an effort to best identify what might get under Trump's skin and what may trigger him the most if he does demonstrate self-control. So what do you think about that? And now that, I guess, Donald Trump has advanced warning, could he avoid falling into this apparent trap?
Donald Trump just had 7 weeks of preparation, sitting through this ridiculous sham trial in New York that this ridiculous judge put him through. If he can sit through that and not jump across the table and beat up everybody in the room, he'll be fine. That would have been the time, I think, if I'd been Donald Trump, I wouldn't have been able to stand it anymore. It'd have been like Popeye saying, that's all I can stand, pull out a can of spinach and go flailing. He didn't do it. He sat there calm through the whole process. I think it's a ridiculous strategy on Biden's part, but let's hope he does it, because Donald Trump has the capacity for something Joe Biden doesn't, and that's an uncanny sense of humor. And Donald Trump has the ability to mock the people who mock him. So if Joe Biden thinks that that's going to work in the debate, all I can do is say, pop the corn. It's going to be one. Put your feet up. It'll be beautiful.
Oh, that corn is going to be popping.
And to your point, that screaming in an empty studio makes you look like a madman. Carly tells me that every time I do sports highlights. Governor, thank you for your time. We really do appreciate
not true.
It's true.
Governor, thank you so much.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.